Hey, this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I want to show you a simple method for cooking an Instant Pot prime rib roast. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, Instant Pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. So first things first, do you actually call it a prime rib roast? Because I noticed that so many people have different names for it. Prime rib, rib of beef, ribeye joint is the famous that my butchers call it. There's just so many different names for it. But in my opinion, it's the nicest and best beef roasting joint you could possibly cook. And while some people are offended over the idea of doing it in the Instant Pot, because why do you need to pressure cook such a great cut of meat? Well, the pressure cooker makes it even better than it is when it's roasted in the oven. It's just absolutely amazing. And we've cooked prime rib in the Instant Pot and in the air fryer, and you can't deny just how good it is in the pressure cooker. So you're probably wondering what ingredients you need. First up, the prime rib. The prime rib we've got is 2.4 kilos. It's a brilliant size for cooking in the Instant Pot. And then beyond this, the ingredients are really simple. We've got some beef stock, which is actually made up from the hubby's amazing Instant Pot frozen stock cubes that he makes, and then we freeze them as little ice cubes, and then we can defrost them and then use them in the Instant Pot, and they're just brilliant for that. And then we've also got salt and pepper, extra virgin olive oil, we've got some red wine, brilliant for deglazing the Instant Pot along with the beef stock, some onion and some garlic granules. I'm keeping it simple because prime rib is amazing on its own. It doesn't need over seasoning. You just want to keep it simple, just like you would have if you were served it in a restaurant, or maybe you were doing it at Christmas dinner. This is the kind of way you would do it. So let's get started, shall we? Let's move that stock out of the way so I don't spill it everywhere. And then, because the Instant Pot takes an eternity to get warm, let's press the saute button now, and then it can get going. Also add in some extra virgin there. Yep, that's plenty. And there's the noise. We all know that noise, don't we? And then there you are, you've got onions chopped up. Load it into the Instant Pot, and then you're basically waiting to listen. You're waiting for that lovely sizzle on the onions so that you know the Instant Pot is actually warm enough. And then, as you can hear, you've now got a sizzle. And then give your onions a quick mix, and then you just want to wait until they're starting to brown. Not really brown like what you have on hot dogs, but when they've started to soften a bit. And then whilst they're softening, grab yourself a spare measuring cup and measure out the red wine that you need. This is a 1 cup, so that's the equivalent to 240 ml, or the exact amount that an Instant Pot 6 quart needs to go to pressure. But of course, we've got the beef stock as well, so it's got double the amount of liquid it actually needs. Then we can just put that to one side, and then you can come back once you've got some colour. Right, so now your onions have got some colour on them. It is time to cancel your sauté. Add in your red wine. Apologies for the steam. And then once you've added in your red wine, same again with the beef stock. And then using a wooden spoon or whatever you've got, just give it a good scrape to make sure there's nothing stuck on the bottom. And then that's your pot ready to go. So now you're just concentrating on your actual prime rib. So get it out. And wow, that's a brilliant size. I should also point out that the ones in the UK are a little bit different. It's still prime rib, but what they do is they wrap it up so that it's easier to cook, and it's like a traditional beef roasting joint, just like they do with the brisket. So if yours is a different shape, that's why. And then once you've done that, you want to have a little bit of extra virgin on it. And then once you've done that, you hand the quick rinse. And then you want some garlic powder. What's great is the extra virgin helps the seasoning stick to it, so it gives it a better flavour once cooked. And then after that, loads of salt. Same again with the pepper. And now it's ready for being pressure cooked. Next step is to sort out the trivet that you're going to be using. And then this is the one we're using. It's important that you use one with handles because then it's easier to grab your meat out when it's finished cooking. Then place it in. And now you want to get some wiggle room and to actually fit the beef on top of the trivet. So this is how it's done. And I'm just going to wipe my hands for a second and show you it. So the idea here is once it's cooked, it'll shrunk down a bit, is that when you lift it out, you can do so like that and then rinse all the liquid out. You know, it just makes it so much easier to get it in and out. For me, for favourite trivets, I've got a few with handles, and I've got a taller one that's got a better height on it for, let's say, I'm doing an Instant Pot shepherd's pie. And then you've done everything now. It's time to put the lid on and get it pressure cooking. So there we go. Make sure it's set to sealing. There you go. So make sure it's set to sealing and not to venting. And then you're looking for your pressure cook button, and you're looking for 10 minutes. And then once you set it for 10 minutes, you're waiting for the beep so that then you can wait for it to go to pressure and do its cooking. What's important is that it does a 30-minute natural pressure release, because then it sits there in the Instant Pot and carries on cooking. If you don't give it its full natural pressure release for a total of 30 minutes, then it will not be cooked. So the Instant Pot prime rib has done a 10-minute pressure cook and a 30-minute natural pressure release. And the pressure's all released now. So let's get the lid off. And it does have this kind of colour to it that's perfectly natural for when you're cooking pressure cooker meat. And then what I recommend is a tea towel, because they're the easiest to get in the gaps, whereas when I use something thicker it just doesn't get in. And remember what I said about using one with handles, that makes it so much easier for getting it out. So simply get it on the handles, give it a good shake, because that will get rid of any of the excess liquid. And then that's what it looks like. Put that on a plate, and then we can allow it to rest for a little while before we have a slice in and show you what it looks like. So this is the Instant Pot prime rib. We've allowed it to cool for a bit, and that also helps getting rid of some of the blood dripping out when you're actually chopping it, the longer you can leave it. And then of course the string also helps it hold its place. And now we can just see how good this meat looks. Oh, I'm checking that out. You can't help it, can you? As soon as you see a meat, you want to see what the inside of it looks like. So the poor hubby, who's a chef, has got the job of using a really, really awful knife to chop this meat with, just because we're renting a cottage and we totally forgot our knife set. So you know when you're using the wrong knives for the job, so yours should be better. But now let me show you it. Now he's chopped into a bit. Let me pick it up and show you it. I mean, look at that for a lovely colour on prime rib. You cannot beat that. It's just perfect to cook. And you know, I was in doubt when one of our readers said cook it for 10 minutes and then leave it ages on a natural pressure release. I'm thinking, 10 minutes for a 2.4 kilo prime rib? You are taking the pee here. And then we cooked it like that, and this was a few years ago now, and we couldn't believe how good it was. I mean, look at how delicious that beef looks. It looks absolutely amazing. And if you do love a prime rib and you don't really know what to do with it, you're not an experienced cook, then it's great to do it in the Instant Pot. And then what we tend to do is have another Instant Pot going with, say, our mashed potatoes, and then you've got two of the main parts of your roast dinner sorted. So this is the beautiful prime rib that Dominic's just chopped for me, and I just wanted to show you what the inside looks like, because you know you can have the outside slice and you think, oh, that's right to my liking, but what about the middle? So that's our middle, and it's just perfectly cooked. You know, you could add another 5 to 10 minutes if you wanted it well done. You could also take off a good 5 minutes if you wanted it more rare than a medium. It just depends on how you like your beef. And I mean, these slices are just absolutely perfect. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And of course, remember, keep the string on as long as you can, because it makes it so much easier for slicing. Dominic did an absolute amazing job on an extremely blunt knife that wasn't meant for the job. So if he can do it on that knife, a nice sharpened knife, and you can do an amazing job. And then of course, head over to recipethis.com. We've got the free printable recipe card to go with this. And we've got shed loads of air fryer sides that you can serve with your roast beef, and the same for the Instant Pot if that's more your thing. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter, where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.